Here is the review of Transformers Robots in the Skies, Optimus Prime, also known as Fire Convoy in Car Robots. And my dad's here with me.
Hello, y'all. And I absolutely know nothing about this. I've seen it, but I don't know anything about it. So Colton's going to lead the way on this because I just don't know much about it at all.
So as you can see, Optimus here is a fire truck.
Now, a fire truck, but he's got, what does he have right there on his door? He's got Cybertron. Right, isn't that what this is?
Yes, and he also has like Japanese writings.
I don't know if this is Cybertron or not. Okay.
And not on the other side.
Not on the other side, just that side. Okay.
And also, he does have some nice paint here on the front bumper, and also on the back he has some paint here on the back, which are the little details. Now this figure, believe it or not, this figure was released in 2001, and this is back when these Transformers figures back in 2001 was focusing on painting smaller details like this one here. And it's a shame that we don't see figures, well, great figures like this anymore. Because back in 2001 they put like a lot of effort into these figures. And he also has some rubber tires, which some of these have cracked, like this one here. You can see there. And also on the tires. Yes.
On the tire, does that say Fire Convoy?
Yes, Fire Convoy. Okay. Around the tires. But the tires have cracked here, here, two here on the back. But the only tires that are still intact after all these years is these two here, because these two have not cracked.
Okay, so I know that this thing can do a lot, and so why don't you lead the way and show us what he's got?
But I will have to mention, mine is incomplete. the ones that I'm missing is he came with a little gun that you store under here that clips on to, and it has a little wheel on the bottom. And he's also missing 4 missiles for these here. Oh, and he did have a battery compartment. I do have it. It's just somewhere. But for features, for the ladder here, what you can do with this is, if you push on this red button, these 2 nozzles flip out.
Okay, so they're like a water nozzles.
Yes.
Okay, to put out a fire. So let me go and get this straight. Okay, we go ahead, we click this one in, click that one in, and we push down. Okay.
And the ladder does extend like that. And of course the ladder can move up and down on a ratchet, and can also rotate on a ratchet.
Ooh, those are some serious ratchets. You can hear them. Wow.
And also, if you push on this button here, these 4 guns will flip out. Like that. Now, a difference with this and the Japanese version is, on the American version here, you just push the button and they just flip out. But on the Japanese version, if you push the back of the button, and when these flip out, the missiles will just fire out.
Really? Wow.
So you really have to watch.
Watch where you're pressing the button, because they will automatically come out.
Yes.
Okay, where this, the American version right here, I see. We have little clips in there.
No, these are spring-loaded triggers.
Yes.
For the missiles, if they were here.
Where the Japanese version doesn't have that. Wow. Okay.
And when you're folding these back, you have to put them in order. Because if you go in like reverse, well, in a different order, then one of these will pop out. So you have to put them in order.
Okay. All right, what else we got?
Now, he does have like lights and sounds, but mine doesn't really work. First, I will have to turn on this light and turn off this light. Now, to activate these sounds, you would push on this button here, and as you do that, the light bars will light up. And he is supposed to say something in this speaker here, but mine doesn't work. But what he is supposed to say is 3 things, and that is Optimus Prime maximize, make the siren sound, and say Autobots transform. But the Japanese version just says 3 of those things in Japanese. But here he says it in English.
Okay, what else we got?
That's about it for vehicle mode.
Okay.
So now to transform him. Now, he does have 4 modes. The first mode is, of course, his vehicle mode. But he also has a standard robot mode. And to transform him into his standard robot mode, you would separate the cab here from these 2 pegs here to these holes here. Well, these grooves here, because these grooves slide into these pegs here. Okay. And there is something that the trailer can do, but we're gonna do that in a minute.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to take it. I thought you was finished with them. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
So to transform Optimus here in his basic mode, you want to take these, fold these in, and then fold these in. Then you want to take the cab, separate it, and then bring his waist and this here all the way down. Straighten what will become his knees, separate them, rotate them. And on the back, you want to open up these so that way you can rotate his feet around. And you also want to close these up, and these pegs will go underneath these things. And these help lock his feet in.
Okay. I'm learning just like y'all learning. Okay.
Then you want to take his sirens here, position them up at an angle so that they're like this. And you can bring these down if you want to, but in the show he had them like this. Then you want to take these, separate them, and bring them forward. And you also want to take these, slide them down, and as you slide them down, his hands will pop out. Rotate his elbows. And then you want to compress his upper body down, which will reveal his head. And there you have the basic mode of Optimus Prime.
Is that light piping or is that just the way his eyes are? It's like a...
No.
Okay.
No. His chest and his eyes both have a chrome paint on them.
Okay, like a metallic finish.
And as you can already tell, some of the red paint on his chest is like starting to flake off a little bit here. And as for the robot mode, he like has a anime look to him.
I would say yes, that's pretty accurate. I would say yes, that's more of an anime look to Optimus. Yeah, you called that right, yeah. What articulation does he have, and does his light bar work behind him?
Yes. It does.
Okay. Alright, I see where the lights are at. Okay.
But like I said, this came out in 2001, and like I already told you, this is back when Transformers toys started focusing on detail, like painting in little details and
little detail areas, such as that right there. There's a shot of yellow right there, where there's some more yellow. Yep, there's some more yellow.
And also, they started working in like clever engineering back in 2001.
Okay. Alright. So his articulation, does he have thigh swivel?
Well, for articulation, head is on a ball joint. And he can't really look up, but he can look down. But as you can see, mine, every time I move it down, when he's looking forwards, it just pops back up. But when I rotate it and make him look down, it has no problems. Arms can rotate all the way around. They can move in and out on a soft ratchet. And he also has an armpit joint. He can bend at the elbow on a soft ratchet, swivel at the elbow, and also his hands are on ball joints. So you can move them. And he does have a waist swivel, but you will have to move this out of the way. Legs can move forward, back, ratchet in and out. Ratcheted knees. Swivel at the knees, and his feet are on ball joints.
Excuse me, sorry.
So the articulation, it is still really good for its time.
Yeah.
And I even like that they put ball joints on his hands, because normally these, well, hands normally don't move due to the transformations, but here they put in ball joints, which is really great. And we don't see this in future Transformer toys no more. And if he had his little gun, you would fit it in both of his hands.
That Optimus Prime, he's got definitely an anime look to him. And I'm not going to doubt that.
Oh, and another piece of articulation that he has is his antennas can move. As you can see.
I have to say, his eyes, that's one thing that grabs me every time. It kind of looks like he's looking at you. I know it's weird.
And his eyes are chromed orange.
Chromed orange, okay. That's different. Yep, that's different. Okay.
So that's about it for Optimus himself. Now, for the trailer here.
Now for the trailer.
What this can do is you can transform this into a base mode.
You can transform the trailer into base mode. Okay.
So to get it ready, you want to take these, separate them from these two pegs and those holes. Set them off to the side. And you also want to, you also want to untap this entire thing from these pegs and these holes here. Then you can separate these from these clips and these pegs here.
So this Optimus Prime, it's a parts former.
Yes. So for this here, underneath you want to flip out these here. Well, before you flip them out, you want to fold them down about here so that way you can take these back wheels and fold them in, and then you can fold these up. Because if you just fold his feet out without folding these in, these are going to be blocked by these tabs here. And as for this, what you want to do is straighten up the ladder here and peg it back in. And as for the ladder, you want to fold this down and flip out the guns. And you also want to take these and flip these out. And for these things, you want to untap them, fold them down, and fold them down to here. And for his combined mode hands, you want to rotate them and fold out the thumb and bring them down to make these as guns, and rotate these guns around. And these are going to go into these holes here, into that peg right there. Oh, okay, okay. You have to make sure that these are facing like this, so that the peg will go into that hole. And then you want to take these, and these are going to go into this hole and that peg on the bottom of both of these. And then you do the same on the other side. And there's the base mode. And no, you're supposed to leave this up.
Okay.
And you can position these guns here. And the base mode is like...
It's alright. I've seen better, but it is, you know. I think that they just threw that in there because it's just a selling feature too, I guess, you know. I don't know. I got my own thoughts on it.
I'm like meh about this base mode. I just don't care about it.
It's just not for him. That's what he's saying. It's just not for him. And I can understand why. I mean, I think it'd be nice if you had some MicroMasters maybe run around there, but that's about the extent that you can do with that.
And here's Optimus next to it. But now we're going to get him into his second mode. And that's like his superpower fire knuckle mode. I don't know. But to get him into that mode, you want to untap these. Untap these. and remove this. Now you're going to take these, separate them, and you could see there's some missiles in here. Fold these down so they look like this. And these are going to attach to Optimus's shoulders in these pegs and these holes here. And then you wanted to return these back the way they were, but leave these open, because these holes need to go into these pegs on both of his arms. And then you just fold these up and fold these up, and they will tap in. And that's it.
And what is this mode called?
I've heard one guy on YouTube that said this is called like a superpower fire knuckle mode.
Okay.
It's just Optimus with huge hands,
arms, and shoulder pads.
with missiles here.
His shoulder pads with missiles. Okay.
Oh, and you can slide out his arms to give his arms more range of his armpit joints. I don't, well, I think that is supposed to be part of the articulation.
Yeah.
Sorry that I forgot to mention y'all that. And the only new articulations that he has in this mode is his new hands are on ball joints, and the thumb can move up and down.
Okay.
So now we're going to move into his final form, which is his super mode. So what we're going to do is we're going to leave these on but remove these. And leave his arms extended. And for these, you want to flip these back up. Open up these panels and try to get your finger in here to flip out this piece. Which is really tricky to...
You see? Here, use this. Okay. I'll do that one. Go ahead.
So what you're going to do with these is you're going to take Optimus's feet here and peg them into those red pegs inside into these holes here. And that hole is where this gray peg is going to go into.
So it locks his feet in place.
Yes.
Now he's got big boat feet.
And you also want to come to the back, flip down these light bars, and extend his chest up. Now you're going to take these here, and these are going to slide into his shoulders here, and they do tap in.
You know, just gave him super shoulder pads.
And for this here, you just want to fold these in, fold this up, flip these back in, take this, fold it all the way back, bring the ladder all the way back, and you also want to bring it back on this joint here and rotate it so that it's facing like this. And you also want to bring this up, bring this piece down, and position up the guns here. And you're done. And these 3 holes is where these 3 pegs go into. you can now collapse his chest. It only collapses into about here. And then you just take his combined mode chest, bring it down, and it'll tap in. And there's his super mode.
That ladder back there in the back of him, that helps keep him balanced?
Yes.
Okay.
And his super mode looks really
Super?
and also it looks really cool.
Now, does this...
And
is that showing up? Oh, that was my elbow.
and his eyes in his super mode is still that
Oh, perfect.
that
Looks good.
metallic orange.
Metallic orange. And you can see it right there, but when you're actually looking at it, it looks like he's actually staring at you. The way that they made the eyes, I've never seen that on the Optimus until this one here. That's different. I've not seen that nowhere else.
And the only new articulation that he has in this mode is his head is on a ball joint. It does move, but it is really limited. And if you want, you can still move these guns if you want to. But the rest of his articulation is the same as the standard Optimus. And if you want to, you can bring the ladder all the way forward and have these come out to have them like shoot out water. The only problem is that this is going to be super heavy for him.
You know what? I just noticed something. Turn it to the side right quick. Yeah, just like that. Doesn't that look like a little guy could be sitting down right there and that's a screen display?
Yes.
Right? Yeah. Just caught my eye. Like a little guy could sit down right there and then this right here is the readout. Now, I don't know what that is.
That's supposed to be like a ladder or something.
Okay.
Or a step ladder.
Okay.
But he does have a feature in this mode, and that is on his chest here that has the Autobot symbol here. You can flip it up and it's supposed to be the Matrix, but it doesn't look like the Matrix.
You know, that looks like a square box with a bunch of dots in it. Bunch of holes. I mean, you know, this is different. It's what line is this again?
Robots in the Skies 2001.
RID?
Yes.
RID 2001. Okay.
Oh, and if the regular size Optimus, if I had his little gun, you would plug it on his shoulder here from this port here. But that Matrix just looked like a cannon.
Yeah, a cannon. Now let me ask you this: if you push that button, it don't light up. If you push the button back here,
No.
okay.
He doesn't make any sounds.
So it doesn't light up or make no sounds. Okay.
When he's in this mode,
Yeah.
no.
Okay.
Now, there is other things that this guy can do, but that's for the Robots in the Skies Ultra Magnus, which I do have, but that's gonna be part 2, and this is
Part 1.
part 1.
We have 3 parts to this. This is part 1.
Which is Optimus, and part 2 is Ultra Magnus, and the third part will be both of them combined together. So, final thoughts for Optimus. I do like his vehicle mode, his standard robot mode, and also this mode. The other mode where he had these and his feet as missile launchers, I'm not a fan of that. Even the base mode. So the base mode and the mode where he has these and his feet as missile launchers, I'm not a fan of. But the other 3 modes, his vehicle mode, his standard robot mode, and his combined super mode, I like.
It looks good. It looks the Optimus looks a lot of anime.
Yes, a lot more anime.
A lot more anime, I would say, and it's 2001 RID Optimus Prime. So I mean, you take it or leave it. It's different, but that's what they did in 2001 RID. Now, wasn't there a cartoon of this?
Yes.
Okay.
Both in American and Japan.
Okay.
Japan was called Car Robots. Here in America is Robots in the Skies.
Okay.
So, I think that's about it. So, there you have it. Transformers Robots in the Skies 2001 Optimus Prime. And if you like this video, give us a like, comment, and subscribe for more.
Alright, thank you for watching.
And stay tuned for part 2, which will be Ultra Magnus. Thanks for watching.